Ja, dan hebben ze koffie.
Ja, willen jullie wat drinken? Want als er niks komt, dan haal ik wel wat.
Als die zou komen als de wedstrijd begon. Want die stond hier allemaal, die wilde allemaal dingen doen en ik had eigenlijk zoiets van...
Wacht maar even.
Als het goed is komt als de start van de wedstrijd, zou ze komen, zei ze. Dus...
Als het niet zo is, dan gaan ze.
Toen je ook thuis.
Hallo?
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome from Bussum. We're in the Rob Hofman Valley and just about ready for game number 4 of the Holland Series. I'm John Monant, and it's my pleasure and a privilege to bring you the sights and sounds in game number 4 between Neptunus Rotterdam and HCAW Bussum. And again, beside me, my sidekick, Milan van der Breggen.
It's good to be here. It's a great day for baseball.
Going to be a fantastic afternoon. I got to give my compliments to the boys in Nieuwegein when they ordered the weather for this weekend. They did a perfect job. 23 degrees at first pitch. That's 73 for those of you still using the F word to describe your temperatures. And it's going to be an absolutely fantastic afternoon. No wind to speak of, so no help or hindrance out there on the diamond today. But hopefully the bats will wake up a little bit today. We like our pitching battles, but we certainly were embroiled in one back in game number 3.
You're right, John. It was definitely a pitcher battle on Thursday, and we got a rematch from game 1 right here with Lars Heijer and Tom de Blok, so it's going to be another good one.
And on the mound, as promised, Lars Heijer for HCAW, and he's a good one. First pitch of the ball game. Missing for a ball. As today, Eddie Louisa behind the dish calling the balls and strikes. Second pitch also not to his liking. Heijer puts one down the pipe, strike one, and the count goes to 2-1. Three and 1 now the count to Stein for the Mayor.
Van der Meer gets on base a lot. Let's see what he does right here.
Now Van der Meer laying off one, and Louisa rings him up for strike number 2, and full count now for the first batter faced by Lars Heijer. Ball popped up. It's going to drift foul. Over there to make the catch, the third baseman, Bradley Martina, the first out of the inning. That will bring up the Swiss Army knife of Neptunus, Drew Janssen. Game 3, he was the designated hitter / pitcher, and today he'll take position out in the outfield, playing left field for the Rotterdammers. Looks at a strike to start things out. Higher. Chucks one in a little bit low, and the count goes to 1-1.
Janssen did a great job on the mound on Thursday. Let's see how he fares in the batter's box today.
Just couldn't get the run support. Of course, when you're DH and you're a little bit responsible for that yourself. But the bats were very silent for Rotterdam. But yeah, indeed, Drew Janssen had a good trip up on the mound. Things breaking loose in the later innings. Taps one to second base. That'll be thrown over in time. And Janssen, the second out of the top half of the first inning. That'll bring up a very dangerous hitter in the Neptunus lineup, Christian Diaz. Diaz lifts one into shallow center field. Coming on strong, Jandro Trump to make the grab and retire the side. So 3 up, 3 down as we go to the bottom of the first. Still 0-0 from the Roodvallei Stadium in Bussum. You're watching Holland Series, game number 4. And we'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back to the bottom half of the first inning. HCAW Bussum now up to bat, and stepping into the batter's box first is Marnix Ruben. And he will face the man freshly minted as the pitcher of the year in the Lucky Day Hoofdklasse, Tom de Blok. Received his award, although he was out in the bullpen getting warmed up, but CEO of the KNBSB, the Baseball Federation, Stefan Eskis, awarding him the title Pitcher of the Year. Delano Salasa, who will come up shortly, the MVP. First pitch, strike to Marnix Ruben, who has a blazing batting average. Batting .406.
They say speed don't slump, and in his case, that's true.
Slides one past the shortstop to get on board. And Marnix Ruben with a leadoff single to get things started in the bottom half of the first.
Immediate speed threat on the bases for HCAW. We'll see if he gets put in motion.
And up second for HCAW, the center fielder, Jandro Trump. Trump with that diminutive strike zone. Going to be a little bit tougher target for DeBlock to get his strikes in for it. Trump looking to lay down a bunt.
Stein van der Meer was ready for it, crashing, coming in. The pitch was up, taken for ball one.
The block once again looking at a batter showing bunt, and indeed the infield coming in hard as the response. And Trump now looking at a 2-0 pitch, and DeBlock backing him up off the plate. So DeBlock behind in the count now, 3-0. It'll be interesting to see if Trump squares around to bunt again or if he'll get the go-ahead to take a lick at it. Well, he laid off a ball called strike by plate umpire Louisa.
That looked like an auto take to me, as he was just trying to see a pitch and moved the bat along.
Squares round, lays down a bunt. Picked up there by the first baseman and flipped over to his counterpart Dwayne Kemp as Yamanika makes the put out at first, and the HCAW runner Marnix Rubin manages to scamper over to second base. One out, man on second, and the most valuable player in the Lucky Day Hoofdklasse, Delano Salasa, now up to bat for the home side. Salasa batting .398 on the season. Drives one into center field and caught there on the run by Collins. Rubin will advance over to third on the tag up and represents a scoring opportunity for HCAW, albeit with 2 out here in the bottom of the first. That'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Arthur Bonifacia.
Bonifacia, switch hitter, hitting from the left side today, facing the right-handed DeBlock. A lot of pop in his bat.
And the one-time Oriole watches a ball go in called strike by Louisa. Bonifacia taps one foul.
Big spot for HCAW here. See if they can get an early lead and have Lars Heyer, the starting pitcher, continue the game on cruise control.
That's certainly what he did in game number 1. 10-inning complete game, and just an absolute masterpiece of pitching for what were then the visitors. Can't talk about this game without talking about the home field advantage, which is kind of a bizarro world for this Holland Series. It's been the visiting team that's come up on the long end of things so far in the series. We'll see if HCAW changes that today, or if Neptunus will see it continue and be able to even the series out at 2-2. Bonifacia lifts one into left field. It's going to be a long run, but on the run, Janssen makes the grab. And that is the end of the batting order. So they strand one. So with no runs on 1 hit and no errors, we move to the second inning, still knotted up with the eyeglass score 0-0. Top of the second, and that brings to the plate Dwayne Kemp, the veteran for Neptunus. This one foul. Don't know if there's going to be a play on the ball. Apparently not. And Kemp will survive the at-bat. One of the sole survivors, at least in terms of playing, of that famous World Championship team, which took the honors back in the day in Cuba. Featured in a documentary by state television NOS, shown a couple of months ago on TV. Good memories for the success of the Dutch baseball team. As Kemp waits on the 0-1 offering and fouls that one away.
A little bit out in front on both pitches so far. One hit far and foul, the other one not so far.
So Kemp comes into the ball game batting .328. And a ball up high, which isn't tough to do against the diminutive stature of Kemp, makes him a tough target as well, just like Jandro Trump on the other side of the lineup.
Small body, but a big presence in the batter's box.
That's for sure.
Lots of experience.
2-2 count now. And Kemp shoots one into the gap between left and center field, and it's either over the fence or under the fence.
I think it may have gotten stuck in the fence, actually.
In the fence. And it will be a ground rule double for Dwayne Kemp to start things off here in the second inning for Rotterdam.
Got the fastball he was looking for and put a good swing on it. One hop to wall.
So promising start for the Submariners in their first half of the second. And that will bring up the center fielder, Darryl Collins. Well, Dwayne Kemp, being part of that 2010 team that took the honors against Cuba, is, of course, a knight in the Order of Orange, but royalty is also bestowed upon Darryl Collins, as he was a one-time member of the Kansas City Royals.
Spent a couple years in the minor league organization for Kansas City, and now he's back in his hometown, Rotterdam.
And he's going to show bunt, trying to move Kemp over to the hot corner. He doesn't give him anything to deal with, so the count will move to 1-1.
Squares around again.
Higher. Throws another one down low. Coming in hard is Sherman Marlin. First base being covered out there by Madeira in his absence. And now a 2-1 pitch with Collins showing bunt. They're going to go back and make Kemp stay honest.
A little bit of an awkward slide there by Kemp. He seemed surprised by the pickoff attempt.
And Kemp caught in a rundown. Tag applied by Martina, and caught stealing will be the first out of the second inning, as Kemp will have a short walk back to his own dugout, being trapped over nearby third base.
Very crucial base running mistake there by Kemp, getting off a little too aggressive. Usually he would try to wait until the bunt's put down, but got a little greedy.
So Howyer, fortunate to have the runner off the base path, will now go back to the business of dealing with Darryl Collins. Not a bad hitter in his own right at .322, and he'll be free to swing away, I would presume. Indeed he does, but doesn't get any farther than a foul ball dribbling out of the batter's box. and manages to retire Collins on the foul tip. And that will bring to the plate the designated hitter, Kevin Dirksen.
Dirksen so far in the Holland Series in 3 games. He's got 2 hits and 9 at-bats. Looking to add some right here.
Steps into the batter's box sporting a .354 batting average. Best hitter for the ball club. And also number 1 in terms of on-base percentage. Finds himself now behind in the count to Lars Howyer. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He got him. Looking like the house by the side of the road. Kevin Dirksen goes down looking, and side is retired. Lars Howyer manages to get himself out of the jam. They leave a base runner. They strand a base runner. They lost a base runner caught stealing as Kemp caught in the rundown. And as we move to the bottom of the second, score still knotted 0-0 apiece. Stepping up to the batter's box to get things started for HCAW in the second half of the second. Jair from Borkelo.
Saw him behind the dish on Thursday. Playing left field today for his ball club, with Goins doing the catching duties.
First pitch strike for De Blok. Second baseman flips the ball over to first in time, and from Borkelo, the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Sherman Marlin, the first baseman for HCAW, batting .295.
He's got 3 hits so far in the series, including a double on Thursday night. Big hit and big spot.
De Blok working quickly against the HCAW first baseman. Count is 2-0. Missing for the third time in a row, and finds himself behind in the count. Marlin gets to take a free trip down to first base, courtesy 4 balls. And following him in the batting order is the second baseman, Alex Madeira. So Madeira sporting a fairly decent batting average of his own, especially for somebody batting in the number 7 slot. 324 for the second baseman on the season.
Not a lot of pop in his bat, but a good base runner and helping out his team with singles and RBIs.
Big swing and a miss, and the count evens at 1-1.
Marlin at first base, not a speed threat, allowing Tom DeBlock to focus at home and try to get the batter out.
Fouls one back up and over into the concession stand.
aan het doen bent, je bent nu een shot aan het maken op thuis, dat er mooi uitziet. Alleen hou je er even rekening mee dat we een gat hebben wat links zo.
Hopefully he didn't hit that grill. I noticed they're very fond of their barbecued hamburgers here at the Rob Hofman Vallei.
Het is mooi, alleen prioriteit moet je links zo doen.
Yeah, the 1-2 offering. Down low, but he went for it. And Alex Madeira, victim, chased a ball low and is retired as the second out here in the bottom of the second. That will bring up the catcher, Julian Goings.
Niet aan de zijkant van dat hek hangen, wat je, ja.
Goins has been Lars Heyer's personal catcher for quite some years, and that tradition continues today as Heyer's pitching, Goins doing the catching.
It also has a good relationship with first-year manager Gino Henson. Played with him all the way back in youth ball with Tsunami, as well as Otto and later with Hawks.
Wat is nu al 2 keer die bal gaat naar links, want wij zitten hier van ja, succes. Oké, hoi.
Lead off the first pitch, and the count is 1-0.
Ik denk 4 stappen te ver naar voren. Stier is al bezig met allemaal leuke sfeershotjes, terwijl je gewoon een derde van zelf is.
Sherman Marlin still biding his time down at first base. Hoping Goins can get something going on. Yeah, right now he's looking at a strike, and the count moves to 2-1. Swing and a miss, and writhing in a bit of strife is Sem Cowper. Don't know where that ball got him, but he's going to take his time recapitulating. Tom DeBlock comes over to check on him.
I don't think there's much he can do right now other than talk to him and hope everything's going to be all right.
Coach Greg Muller coming out to have a look, and
so is the trainer.
that might have been one in the nether regions. Unrelated to the Netherlands, of course, but painful nonetheless.
Hopefully that sip of water helped him out.
And a pat on the back, because there's not a whole heck of a lot else you can do. In serious cases, I've heard a bag of frozen peas out of the freezer is handy, but I don't think we're going to need that for Sem Cowper at this point, and he's going to be able to continue.
Guess we can only hope he's wearing a cup.
So Goins with a 2-1 count up on the scoreboard in right center field. Lifts one into left field. Going back is Janssen, and Janssen unable to make the catch. As
Just short of the
Marlin
wall.
scampers into third base, followed up by a second by a double for Julian Goins.
Going just shy of a home run right there. close to going out, but not quite. Puts runners at second and third base.
So Julian does manage to get something going on as HCAW coach coming out onto the field, and I don't know what the issue might be.
My guess would be that he may be trying to get a home run call overturned or something, but pretty sure the ball stayed in. Therefore,
Fairly dead corner for us from our commentator position. We're down the third baseline and set back in, and we've got some windows and a bullpen that shield the direct view. But whatever the case may be and whatever the protest from the HCAW bench was, it's not going to move any base runners anywhere soon. And coming up to bat now for the home side, Brentley Martina. Martina pressed into service after game one when Jesse Ausums fell out with a hamstring injury and has not returned to action so far in the Holland Series. Martina with runners in scoring position on second and third. But DeBlock, knowing that he has 2 outs behind him, delivers. Kind of a non-committal swing from Brentley Martina. Rung up as a strike by Louisa, and the count moves to 1-1.
Martina is a very good runner, so any ball in play could cause danger and potentially an HCAW run. So Martina should be trying to put anything in play here.
Fouls one back into the netting.
One and two to count.
The block fires one in. A little low for the liking of plate umpire Louisa. Yeah, the count is evened up at 2-2.
Twos across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. This time was cold.
The block fires and delivers and strikes him out. Brentley Martina caught looking and not too happy about it, but such is the case, and he'll have to deal with it. They strand 2, and HCAW come up empty-handed in the bottom half of the second. And the top of the third, we're still tied up 0-0 apiece. You're watching Game 4 from the Holland Series, and we'll be right back. Third inning, and stepping up first to bat for Curaçao Neptunus Rotterdam is the catcher, Sam Cowper. Cowper looking no worse for the wear for a ball that came up and gave him a little jingle. Heyer's second pitch is fouled back up and over the clubhouse. Ball driven down the third base line, stayed fair. Over there was Martina, and Martina throws one past Marlin, and Cowper will scamper over to second base.
Bad throw by Martina resulted in Kuiper, the leadoff batter, reaching second base and immediately being in scoring position.
So first error of the ball game charged to Bradley Martina. And tough time at the moment for Martina. Struck out to end the second inning and then bit off on the throw. As Shadian Yamanika squares off looking to bunt. Trying to do something with his base runner, Sam Cowper. Yamanika lays a bunt down that goes just over the chalk. And will represent the second strike against him.
A lot of small ball early here by both teams, knowing that runs are going to be limited today. Trying to get them across any way they can.
Yamanika pulls the bat back. Home crowd not happy with the call, but the count moves to 1-2. Good crowd on hand here in the Rob Hofmann Valley.
Close to sold out if it's not sold out all the way.
Not a lot of seats left. And once again, just a beautiful day in HCAW for baseball as Yamanika lays down a bunt. He'll be put out at first, but the third base is now occupied by Sam Cowper, who moves over with one away.
On Thursday, Neptunus had a lot of trouble getting guys in scoring position. This time around, they're doing a little better of a job.
One of the few lone bright spots in terms of offensive output for Rotterdam. Now up at the plate, Bob van der Meer had 2 hits Thursday night, and they were scarce to come by for the Harbor City boys.
Let's see if he can continue his hot streak.
Had to get out of the way of the last offering from Lars Heuer. This time Heuer throws one right down the beltway and evens the count at 1-1. Ball tapped to the second baseman, throw to home in time. Alex Madeira guns the ball to Goins, and Goins applies the tag, and Greg Muller comes out to discuss. Well, none of the fellows in blue shirts are happy.
very close play at the plate, and it could have gone both ways. It appeared that Luis had a good angle on the play and made the call that he thought was right.
Well, Greg Miller, calm, cool, and collected. We've seen him lose his temper, but now he's just going to nod that one off and save his powder, keep his powder dry. But nonetheless, that's smart, as Neptunus had been able to get a runner all the way over to third base, and he gets gunned out at home on a good, strong throw from Alex Madeira. So with 2 away, we move to the top of the order, and Bob's brother, Steinfademir, now occupying the batter's box for Neptunus. Fouls one into the screen. Up and over the second baseman, Madeira. And the Fundamere brothers are on base for Neptunus with 2 out here in the top of the third.
Typical swing by Vandermeer where he just puts the bat on the ball, and for some reason it always ends up in his favor. So he had a very good season, hitting .306 with 49 hits. This would have been his 50th on the year.
And second up in the order for Neptunus, Drew Janssen. Playing left field today.
Janssen, a real utility player, as he's also played third base and other positions in the infield this year, as well as pitch.
Janssen fouls one off. Waiting on the 0-2 pitch. Ball up high.
Bob Fundamere looked to be a little aggressive over there at second base, and Goins trying to make sure he's not going anywhere.
Taps another one foul. Almost into his own dugout. And Louisa holds up a 1-2. Janssen lays off the second ball, and the count is now even at 2-2, and once again 3-2's up on the scoreboard. He's got 2 runners on, but 2 out, and Drew Janssen hoping to make something out of the situation here in the top of the third. That one might have hit a car parked out on the street just outside.
I think it was the same Fiat 500 from Thursday night.
Poor guy. Hope he's got glass breakage insurance.
Good battle so far by
joke,
Janssen.
and yet knowing that my car's parked across the street, so might want to cut out the jinx as Janssen puts one into play, but it'll be pocketed by Jandro Trump to retire the side. So they strand two, including a play at the plate that leaves Rotterdam with still a 0 up on the board as we move to the bottom of the third, still knotted at 0-0. Bottom of the third and the top of the order for HCAW Bussum as Marnix Rubin about to step into the batter's box.
Singled his last time up.
First pitch strike for Tom de Blok. Handled at the hot corner, and what a catch by Van der Meer. As I was just about to say, got it by him because I didn't give him much of a chance of netting that one.
He hit that about as hard as he could, but
Stijn Van der Meer absolutely stabbing one and taking away a base hit for sure.
that's why they call him the vacuum.
And that'll bring up Jandro Tromp to the batter's box for HCAW. De Blok greets him with a strike. Trump swinging a miss, and De Blok ahead in the count 0-2. Sad news in Dutch baseball as the namesake of Jandro Tromp, Eddie Tromp, passed away. News came to us from Aruba that at the age of 74, Eddie Tromp, who'd played for both of these clubs in his career, storied career, passed away on the island. Rest in peace, Eddie Tromp, and Jandro Tromp is retired as the second out of the frame. That will bring up your most valuable player in the Lucky Day Hoofdklasse 2025 in Delano Salasa. Salasa hits a fly ball into shallow right field, handled there by Diaz. And the side is retired. So 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the third for HCAW, and nobody has been able to plate a runner that's in any case been safe at home. And we move to the fourth inning of play with the score all tied up at 0 apiece. top of the fourth inning with no score. And stepping into the batter's box for Curaçao Neptunus is number 1 on your scorecard and number 1 in the hearts of a number of Rotterdam fans, Christian Diaz. Heyer comes over to make the out at first, and Diaz is out number 1 in the top of the fourth.
Both pitchers so far doing a good job of throwing strikes and getting weak contact.
We're going to change that up. Will be Dwayne Kemp. Facing a pitcher. Spent some time in the minor leagues of both the Seattle Mariners and the Chicago Cubs.
Ever since, been dominant force in the honkbal hoofdklasse.
Kemp shoots a ball into the field, handled there by Salasa. Throw over to Marlin in time, and out number 2, noted by scorekeeper Marco Stovelar as the second out of the inning. And we talked about Dwayne Kemp's experience and number of caps as an international and number of games in the Hoofdklasse. That would pale in comparison to the number of games Marco Stovelar has scored in his role as a scorekeeper. Strike 1 rung up at the expense of Darryl Collins.
Heyer showing some displeasure with the strike zone.
Collins massages one out into center field, taken there by Tromp, and that is the third out of the inning. Well, same result as all the innings before. No runs come across, and we move to the bottom of the fourth. Still knotted up, 0-0. Bottom of the fourth. And HCAW looking to try to get things started offensively. And up batting for the Valley hitters, their designated hitter, Arthur Bonifazia.
Flew out to left field his last time up.
The one-time Oriole facing the one-time Tiger. Tom DeBlock spent some time in the Detroit Tiger organization, including a stint with the Western Michigan Whitecaps in Grand Rapids. Must have felt right at home there. There's plenty of Dutch heritage in that part of Michigan. And he's Showing a little bit of charity as he puts Bonifacio aboard with 4 balls.
Looks like he was trying to figure out where that missed. Not sure if he agreed, but a walk has been noted.
So Bonifacio on board. And that will bring the left fielder Jair from Borcolo to the plate for HCAW. Borcolo squares around a bunt. Neptunus infield crashing hard on the plate.
Van Borcolo started playing baseball at age 15. Quite late to become this successful.
Borcolo lays a bunt down, taken by DeBlock. DeBlock throws over to second. They try to turn 2, but won't get from Borcolo at first. However, Tom DeBlock keeps a base runner out of scoring position by throwing out Bonifacio at the Keystone.
Would have been nice to have a runner in scoring position for the powerful Marlin, but that's not quite the case, as we still have a runner on first base in Van Borcolo with 1 down.
Now, speaking of first base, that'll bring up the HCAW first baseman, Sherman Marlin. Marlin has already been on board the base pass so far today.
Very big swing by the big left-hander. Just missed it. Dwayne Cam playing pretty far back. So he's on the grass and not the artificial turf.
The 1-1 pitch. Down low. Backstop well by Sem Cowper. Now the count moves to 2-1. Runner going. Ball tapped to Kemp. Kemp throws over to first for the out. As Van Borcolo manages to help himself to second base. Or Arthur Bonifacio, rather.
Van Borcolo.
No, it's Van Borcolo.
Just heard the voice of former big leaguer and World Series champion Ralph Milliard, who is in his usual spot above the first base dugout. A HCAW legend. Cheering on his old team.
We'll bring Alex Madeira up to the plate with Van Borcolo at second and 2 away. Swing and a miss. And count is now knotted at 1-1.
25 RBIs so far in the year for Madeira. Let's see if he can add his 26th and give his team a 1-0 lead here.
Lifts one into center field. And that lazy fly ball will disappear in the webbing of the glove of Darryl Collins, retiring the side. And scoreboard has been very sticky this afternoon. Both teams still trying to get one up on the scorecard. And we go to the top of the inning, all tied up at 0.
As we're back for the top of the 5th inning. Up to bat, the DH for Neptunus, Kevin Dirksen. Strikeout looking his first time up. Hire gets a hit. 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Evens up the count. Hire working very fast, per usual. As there's a strike to even up the count at 2-2. That one missed outside. The count's now full. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Kevin Dirksen is the first out. Strikeout. Third strikeout for Hire so far. This brings up the catcher, Sam Kuiper. Kuiper is ready. Take strike one. That one missed by quite a bit. Ended up in the backstop.
I'll tell you, Milan, it almost didn't come back. It is, if you know, you know, it's oergezellig. And there's no translation of that. But it is just popping outside here at the Rovelai. I've seen it on social media. They brag about their hamburgers, but I just saw them live and up close. As Kuiper is retired on a good throw across the diamond.
A little disappointed, John, you didn't bring one back with you.
Well, the line was pretty long, to tell you the truth. It was manageable, but thought I'd better get back here and join you. But it was tough. Ice cold beer being served up is just an absolute crackerjack of a day for baseball here in HCAW. Bring to the plate Shadian Yamanika with 2 away here in the 5th. Yamanika having to pull his big frame back a little bit. As Hire serves up a strike. Hire working fast now, puts another one up on the board.
Hire seems to have found an extra gear as he's throwing a little firmer than he was earlier in the game.
The 1-2 pitch. Stayed back on it.
Just barely.
First base umpire Olaf Steiger saying that Yamanika did not go around. Now lays off another pitch, and we've got a full count. So 3-2 with 2 out. As Hire trying to continue the shutout, and he does with a strikeout. So another pitcher's battle here in the Holland Series. We've seen them before, and we know that any little mistake or offensive output could mean a big difference in the outcome. But for now, it is all tied up at 0, and we'll be right back. Bottom of the fifth. Both teams still looking for a run. And HCAW sends up their catcher, Julian Goins, to get things going. And Goins fouls one back into the public, which are really enjoying the ball game this afternoon. Good food, good drink, and good weather. I don't know what else you could ask for except for maybe a couple of runs.
That indeed would be nice.
Of course, it's been tough for the home side as the record is intact. The away team winning all 3 games so far in the Holland Series, and Goins takes a big swing, coming up empty.
He had that double in the second inning. Let's see what he does right here in the fifth.
Ball gets away from Cowper into the backstop. Louisa happy to give him a fresh one. And DeBloch gets ready for the 2-2 delivery. Lifted into center field. Collins takes it. And Goins is the first out of the frame. Move to the bottom of the order. Bradley Martina struck out looking in his first appearance in the batter's box for the Valley Hitters.
Martina still looking for his first hit in the Holland Series.
Yeah, he had some tough sledding going on in the Familie Stadion in Rotterdam on Thursday evening. Squares around a bunt one, and I think he caught everybody by surprise, but not the third baseman, Fudamere. As the throw is in time and retires Bradley Martina, keeping him off the base paths.
Very nice barehanded play by Van der Meer. As the throw beat Martina just in time.
Now that'll move us to the top of the order. As far as HCAW is concerned, Marnix Rubin brings his prolific batting average into the batter's box. And the DeBloch serves one up low for ball number 1.
Marnix Rubin seen it well this series, as he's tallied 6 hits so far.
A 2-1 count to the right fielder. Taken there by Bob Fudamere and flipped over to first in time, and the side is yet once again retired. Well, both pitchers throwing shutout ball here in game number 4 as we move to the top of the 6th inning with zeros up on the scoreboard. We'll be right back. So top of the 6th inning, And stepping into the batter's box for Curaçao Neptunus is Bob van der Meer, as Lars Houyer readies his 70th pitch of the ball game. Missing on the opening toss. 1-0 the count, and this one gets past the catcher into the backstop.
Higher taking his time to regroup for the next one. Let's hope he's not showing any signs of discomfort.
Put on that exhibition in game number 1, going all 10 innings.
Despite giving up 7 hits that game, he only allowed one run, while walking 1 and striking out 8.
Very economical game for Lars Houyer. Now behind in the count, 3-0, and that's number 4. So Van der Meer will get on board courtesy 4 balls from Lars Houyer. And moving to the top of the order from Bob de Stein, the Van der Meer family, well represented today for Curaçao Neptunus. And Tromp, hè? Yeah. Bottom of the 6th inning, Jadro Tromp up first for HCAW. And Tom de Blok back up on the mound for the visitors. One and one the count. And Trump splashes one to shortstop.
Easy play for Bob Vandermeer. He knows this turf pretty well as he's played for HCAW for quite some years. Now his first year with Neptunus. Sharing a diamond with his brother, Stein, on the left side of the infield.
So 0-2 for Delano Salasso today. He'll try to make amends and change that in his third at bat for HCAW. First pitch strike, Tom de Blok. Count evens 1-1. Driven hard into center field, taken at or on the warning track by Collins to retire Delano Salasso as the second out of the frame.
Collins was playing pretty deep and paid off, so he didn't have to go too far to make that catch on the warning track.
That'll bring up the designated hitter, Arthur Bonifacia. Bonifacia getting on base at his last at bat, courtesy 4 balls from Tom de Blok. He's already served up 2 of them in this opportunity for the designated hitter.
Not sure if de Blok is too happy with the strike zone that's being called right now. Showing some signs of displeasure on the mound.
Ball taken by Kemp. It's going to be a tough throw to make, and he gets him in time. Good defensive play by the Neptunus infield. And HCAW go down in order yet once again. Well, Dwayne Kemp with a big put out to end the inning as we move to the top of the 7th. Still tie score 0-0. Top of the 7th inning. And coming up to bat for Curaçao Neptunus Rotterdam is none other than the man who just turned a fantastic put out. Going into the hole and gunning down the base runner is Dwayne Kemp.
Very nice range there from the 37-year-old second baseman on that play last inning.
Granted, Arthur Bonifacio not the swiftest base runner out here today, but still, heck of an effort by the veteran second baseman for Neptunus. He fouls one off, and Lars Hauer finds himself ahead in the count 0-2.
Kemp's 1-2 on the day. Had a double his first time up. Grounded out to the shortstop his second at bat.
Of course, after that double, got himself in hot water with a bit of errant base running, caught stealing, trying to get over to third base on a bunt that did not go as planned. Takes a cut at one.
It's the little mistakes like that that are probably the reason we're still tied at 0-0.
Yeah, that was one of the more promising moments, at least offensively, for Rotterdam till now, and they've been very scarce with both pitchers controlling the action today, which was probably more or less to be expected. So Hauer now with a count at 1-2. Tries to run one right by Kemp, and he does. Caught him looking. And Dwayne Kemp, also not particularly happy with the way it was called, but nonetheless represents the first out of the inning. Darryl Collins now batting for Neptunus. Collins unable to run one past the most valuable player 2025 as Delano Salasa throws over to Marlin for out number 2.
2 quick outs for Hauer. Bringing up Kevin Dirksen, who struck out twice so far in this game.
So Dirksen DHing today for Neptunus. Gets rung up for a strike. Strike number 2 run by the designated hitter. And Hauer ahead in the count. The 0-2 pitch. Down low.
Sounds like the crowd thought it was a strike.
Crowd are definitely getting into the balls and strikes at the moment. Well, it's inning number 7, so fairly decently lubricated at this point as the beer taps have been open since noon. As Hauer readies the 2-2 delivery. He got him. Much to the chagrin of Darryl Collins, Lars Hauer books his 6th strikeout of the ball game. And we move to the 7th inning stretch, all knotted up at 0 apiece. Well, it's a different vibe now, but to the chords of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, everybody's stretched out and ready to go, and that includes Jair from Borkelo, left fielder for HCAW. Borkelo climbs into the batter's box. And Tom de Blok back up on the mound for Neptunus. Offers from Borkelo a strike.
The oh so important first strike.
Fodemer flips over to first and retires from Borkelo as the first out of the inning. Well, from Borkelo retired, Sherman Marlin steps into the batter's box. Rips one foul, just foul.
Matter of inches or centimeters. Nice sliding play by Yamanika regardless. The count's now even at 1-1.
Marlin getting ever further afield. Look to straighten one out and get one in play for HCAW. The 1-2 pitch down in the dirt. Backstopped well there by Cowper.
Trying to get Marlin to chase that one. Marlin held back.
Staat 1-0 bij ons, hè? Bij Tridents, laatst.
So a full count now to Sherman Marlin. Tom de Blok serves up a lazy fly ball taken on the charge by Drew Janssen.
Nice diving catch by the left fielder. As it almost looked like it was going to land in no man's land, but Drew Janssen came flying out of nowhere to make the catch.
Ball hung up just long enough for the left fielder to get up under it. And with that, the second out of the inning. And we'll bring to the plate the second baseman for HCAW, Alex Madeira. Madeira struck out his first time up and flew out to center field back in the fourth inning of play. And here in the seventh, looking at a 1-1 count. De Blok missing there, moves the count to 2-1. Still both pitchers looking very sharp here in the later innings. Ball fouled back. Up and over the dug in, the concession stand doing a brisk business still here in the bottom of the seventh. Burgers and beer, what more do you want? Forget the peanuts and Cracker Jack.
I know, right?
That stuff's no good for you. Ball inside. Moves the affair to a full count. 3-2 now to Alex Madeira. Madeira swing, tipped foul, caught by the catcher, and Alex Madeira is the third out of the inning. We move to the eighth. Still in search of a run, still in search of a one on a scoreboard. 0-0. You're watching Game 4 of the Holland Series. The top of the eighth inning. And striding up to the batter's box, the catcher from Neptunus, Sem Cowper. Cowper got on board back in the third inning and made it all the way over to second base thanks to a throwing error, and this time will be caught out by second baseman Alex Madeira, and is the first out of the eighth inning. That'll bring up Shadion Yamanika.
Quick out for Hire, as that's kind of what he needs at this point of the game. His pitch count is getting up there.
Hire now over 100 pitches for the game. Yamanika gets served up. Lars Hire strike to start things off in this at bat. Taps one foul.
Oop. Looks like home plate umpire Edwin Luisa did not get his arm loose before this game. So he wasn't able to make it 60 feet.
Threw him a 50 setter.
Mm-hmm. Well, Hire's got a new ball, so we can continue this game.
Hire looks in for the signal. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Got him looking. Well, maybe that was all part of the game, a little strategy.
Give Yamanika some time to think about what's coming next, and I guess he wasn't thinking fastball.
Well, it was back in the third inning that we last saw a hit, and that was from not Bob Vandermeer, but his brother Stein. And now Bob Vandermeer trying to get himself onto the base paths.
Bob reached on a fielder's choice and a walk so far today.
One ball and one strike to the ambulance brother. Slaps one to Delano Salasa. Salasa fires over to first in time, and Bob Vandermeer, no sirens on that one. And 3 up, 3 down for the Submariners as we move to the bottom of the 8th. bottom of the 8th inning. And that will bring to the plate for Bussum Julian Goings as Tom DeBlock readies his 88th pitch of Game 4 here in the Holland Series and serves up a first ball strike.
Goins has one of 2 hits from the Bussum side today. The double in the 2nd inning. The other hit coming off the bat of Marnix Ruben in the 1st to lead off the game.
Goins puts one on top of the HCAW bullpen. Looks like there's some activity down there.
Tough to tell who's warming up from our angle, but
as mentioned, approaching 90 pitches is Tom DeBlock, but his counterpart, Lars Hauer, well over 100 now. I believe he's standing on 106 as he went into the dugout after retiring the Neptunianen in order.
It appears there's not too much action going on in the HCAW bullpen.
Goins, the victim of another Tom DeBlock strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for the Neptunus righty. And that will bring the bottom of the order up to the plate for HCAW, Bradley Martina. Still in search of that first hit of the Holland Series. Struck out looking in the 2nd, and a 5-3 was the official notation of out number 2 in the 5th. Bradley Martina waits on the 1-1 pitch. DeBlock serves him up a strike, and the count moves to 1-2. Fouled into the netting.
Martina has seemed a little bit off balanced with most of his swings. Maybe trying to do too much.
Well, speaking about doing a lot is Van der Meer, who didn't manage to stab it out of the air but comes up gunning. And Stein Van der Meer throws across the diamond and retires Bradley Martina for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That will bring us to the top of the HCAW Bussum order. And Marnix Ruben climbing into the batter's box to face Tom DeBlock for the 4th time this afternoon.
He had that single to lead off the game in the bottom of the 1st. Reached 3rd base but wasn't able to score.
DeBlock missing with that one after throwing 2 quick strikes past the right fielder. I think he would have liked that one to have counted for a strike as well, but as it turns out, it's 2-2 now. The count to Marnix Ruben. Full count now. And Ruben settling in, trying to improve that 405 batting average.
Very impressive.
Ruben also getting a couple extra pitches for his quarter.
Looks like he's fighting to stay alive. Not the prettiest swings, but putting the bat on the ball and looking for something he can drive.
And the block looks in. Readies, and the payoff pitch. Swung on, held by the catcher, and Marnix Rubin is the third and final out of the 8th inning for HCAW Bussum. Well, we've run out of ways to say 0-0, so we'll leave it at that. Still no score up on the scoreboard. Double donuts, if you like, as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Top of the 9th, new inning, new chances. Few things in life are certain, but none of us are going home until one of these teams scores a run. Your impartial announcers don't care who does it, but we want to go home at some point. But until then, we're enjoying the pitcher's battle, and Lars Howyer back up on the mound to hurl yet another frame for HCAW.
Stijn Vandermeer, the last player to record a hit in this game.
All the way back in inning number 3.
See what he does this time up here in the top of the 9th.
One and two the count as Howyer throws his 110th pitch of the ball game. And Vandermeer lays off a pitch that Louisa rings him up for, and the grimace is real, but so is the strikeout. So out number 1, etched next to the name of Stijn Vandermeer. And that will bring up Drew Janssen to the plate. The left fielder for Neptunus this afternoon. Janssen also coming up empty-handed at his 3 at-bats so far.
He's got 1 hit in the Holland Series. Deep fly here in Bussum in game 2.
Higher finding the strike zone. And the count moves to 2-1. Louisa delivers what the public wants. And the count moves to 2-2. Well, the public are now calling the balls and strikes. Edwin Louise is just there pro forma. And Drew Janssen is punched out for the second out of the 9th inning. And that will bring to the plate Christian Diaz.
Two backwards Ks on the scorecard so far this inning. See if Diaz can make a change to that. took that one for a strike.
Certainly did. Bat up on the shoulder. 1-1 the count. And there's a swing and foul tip. Yeah, the count moves to 1-2.
Oh.
Struck him out, and HCAW will have the chance for the last laugh as they look to walk it off in the bottom of the ninth inning. We are knotted at the eyeglass score. 2 big O's up on the scoreboard, and HCAW coming to bat right after this. And the Bussemers down to one last strike to try to force the issue here at the bottom of the ninth. Atmo Poirot leading off at first. He'll take off for second. And the ball is splashed foul up and over the public address booth. Manned today by none other than Deeks Bannock, whose booming voice you've heard throughout the broadcast, echoing throughout the valley here in Bussum's home ground. Borkelo has to back off the plate as the Block evens up the count at 2-2. Atmo Poirot is gunned down at first. The Block got him and forces extra innings.
Very good pickoff there by the Block, and Atmo Poirot getting a little over-aggressive, resulting in the third out.
So another crafty veteran move as Tom de Block gets Atmo Poirot as the third out of the inning. And HCAW will be filthy to have been retired in that fashion, but them's the facts, and we move to the 10th, still scoreless. We'll be right back.
I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Yes.
Top of the 10th. Bonus innings, if you will, as Dwayne Kemp try to do business from the batter's box and put something up on the board to give HCAW to think about. Ahead in the count already as Lars Hauer has fallen behind 3-0. Kemp starting down to first base, admonished by Louisa, the home plate umpire. He's going to have to stay around for another pitch or so. Not going to go on that one either. Full count now to Dwayne Kemp. And the Block not looking to offer any charity here in the top of the 10th. Kemp will get himself on board, thank you very much, as he shoots a single. He's going to take two on a bit of a fielding kerfuffle by the HCAW right fielder, as Marnix Rubin had trouble gloving the ball out there. I think he just got a little bit lackadaisical on a lazy ball that scooted past him, allowing Dwayne Kemp to move on over to second base.
Could be a very crucial mistake there, as with that, Dwayne Kemp's at second base with no outs.
That could be a huge difference maker indeed. I think Dwayne Kemp has forgotten all about those called strikes as the result of his at-bat much more favorable for the visitors. Darryl Collins now up to the plate, looking to bunt. Puts one down just in front of the plate. Marlin flips to Madeira to retire Darryl Collins, but in doing so, Kemp manages to get on over to third base and is 90 away from putting a lead run up onto the board.
So we have a pinch hitter for Curaçao Neptunus. Kevin Dirksen struck out 3 times, and Coach Muller thought it was time for some new blood. And that's Jurgen Marti, number 6 for Neptunus.
You know, not a bad bat to have on the bench, as Jurgen Marti also represents some power at the plate. Takes a big swing and a miss. Marty lays down a single, and a run will score in Dwayne Kemp as he split the difference between Salasa and Martina. And you talk about your golden substitutions. Greg Muller putting Marty into sub for Dirksen. And he'll now sub in a pinch runner, but Marty coming up big and plating the first runner of the ball game.
Very big hit from the pinch hitter, as he gets pinch run for by number 77, Dan Selbach. But first, we'll have a chat on the mound.
kan niet naar thuis gaan als die bal naar buiten gaat. Snap ik. Nou, vind ik wel. Dus daar moet je meer camera's voor hebben. Dan moet je een camera hebben. Gewoon licht.
And Lars Heyer's day is done, as Coach Hansen pointed down to the ball.
So how you're unable to seal the deal, you know, like in game number 1 where he pitched his way to a 10-inning shutout complete game. And will depart the ball game having given up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, a base on balls, and 10 strikeouts. And Sedley Cottle will take over the ball and try to stop the bloodletting here in the 10th inning for HCAW.
This is Cattle's first appearance in the Holland Series. Throughout the regular season and the playoffs, he's had 17 appearances in which he earned 2 wins and no losses, a 1.31 ERA in 20.2 innings pitched. He walked 7 and struck out 26.
So Cottle, the right-hander, coming on to try to right the ship for HCAW. And see if the Bussemers can turn around the home team jinx, which has been the rule so far in the Holland Series. All 3 visiting teams winning games 1 through 3 of the Holland Series.
And yet again, the visiting team is in the lead here in the 10th inning.
But those in the know the letters of HCAW stand for Honkbal Club Alles Weerbaar. So the baseball club, everybody resilient. Let's see how resilient the team from Bussum is today, as the new pitcher, Sedley Cottle, gets set to face the visiting catcher, Sem Cowper. Cowper takes the first offering from Cottle for a ball.
1 out, runner on first base. Dan Silbach, the pinch runner.
Carl a little bit more methodical than his predecessor up there on the mound. Deals a strike to Cowper. And the count evens up at 1-1. Took something off that one, and it splashed back into the netting.
Healthy hack there by Kuiper. Just under it.
The 1-2 pitch. Cowper getting his cuts in. Wants to see if they can improve on the 1-0 scoreline and move Selbach around the base paths. Cowper lays off that pitch. Selbach chased back to first.
A little bit aggressive there on the secondary lead, but he was able to get back in plenty of time as no throw was made.
Two and two pitches popped up in the infield. Alex Madera waiting on it, clamping it, and registering the second out of the frame. So with Cowper gone, that will bring up the first baseman for Rotterdam in Shadian Yamanika. Yamanika, 3 unsuccessful tries in the batter's box, including 2 strikeouts. Will try to make amends here in the top of the 10th. Yamanika drives one down the third baseline, taken there by Martina, who throws across the diamond to retire. Shady and Yamanika for the third out, but the damage is done. The Rotterdammers plate 1, and let's see if that holds muster as HCAW coming up to bat to try to stay in the ball game. We'll be right back. He's thrown 118. Mm-hmm. So bottom of the 10th, and Van Borkelo coming up to face Tom de Blok, who is back on the mound for Neptunus. And serving up pitch 119. De Blok delivers it directly into Van Borkelo's backside and will give Jair Van Borkelo a free trip down to first base.
Despite the Blok's high pitch count, there doesn't appear to be any action in the Neptunus bullpen. So let's see how de Blok faces off against Sherman Marlin.
Yeah, there was some first baseman trying to do something with the fortunate set of circumstances as the first batter de Blok faced took one in the gluteus maximus and is now representing the tying run down at first base. Marlin, swing and a tip.
Trying to end the game with that swing.
That would do her. As it turns out, it's 0-2 now. Ball fouled off out of play.
Van Borkelo, an average runner at first base. See how Marlin can advance him.
De Blok missing, and the count moves to 1-2. Certainly no one's left the Rob Hofman Vallei. Another one not to the liking of the strike zone. And the count evens up at 2-2. Struck him out. Sherman Marlin, the first out of the inning, as Tom de Blok settled down to run it past him and retire Sherman Marlin, which will bring up the second baseman, Alex Madera.
Two outs remain for HCAW to either tie up the game or go home as winners. As of right now, they're still down 1-0.
Madera slaps one to his counterpart at second base. 2 for the price of 1. Well, they don't call it the pitcher's best friend for nothing. And in what's turned out to be the Bizarro Series, the visiting team once again coming out on the long end.
Yet another pitcher's duel in which Tom de Blok outlasted Lars Heyer. This time it was de Blok with 10 innings of shutout baseball. His stat line: in 10 innings, he allowed 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and struck out 6, earning the victory for himself as well as his ball club, tying up the series at 2-2.
So that will leave us to tomorrow, to game number 5 with the series knotted at 2-2 as we move back to the Harbor City. Game number 5. First pitch, 1:30 in the afternoon from the Familiestadion in Rotterdam. If you don't have plans yet, you're more than welcome to join us in the friendly confines of the Familiestadion on the Abraham van Stolkweg in Rotterdam. And otherwise, tune in to the NOS, where the game will be featured both on the broadcast on NPO1 as well as the website nos.nl for the live stream. Either way, we'll either see you at the ballpark or we'll see you at home from the comfort of your own screen. But until then, it's been my pleasure and privilege to bring you the sights and sounds from game number 4. Milan, any parting thoughts?
Another great ball game, great pitching. On to game 5.
Thanks for joining me, and thanks for adding to the broadcast for Milan van der Breggen. I'm John Monin, and we'll say so long and tot ziens.